Imagine this. A player joined a private code to play with his friend, but when he entered the lobby, nobody was there. He wonders why they aren't joining, but then he sees it. Standing in front of him is a creature. The player doesn't recognize it yet, but before he could even react, his game crashed. What you just saw was a gorilla tag ghost that was never supposed to exist, but somehow got into your code. Well, this is exactly what happened on a channel called Chimp GT, where a player joined a code that would reveal some of the most disturbing footage I've ever seen in gorilla tag. And it all started with the first video. It starts off with the player spawning in Stump. He heads towards the computer and types in the code, Joy89. He walks out of Stump and then he notices this. The textures seem to be missing, and if you go a bit back in the video, you can see that the button textures are also missing, which could just be a coincidence. But as the player goes over here, this happens. And if you didn't already see it, over in the treehouse is a green-like figure. We don't know what this is, but it might be what's causing the glitch textures. The player then jumps on this tree, which will be important later in the video. And the second video might just give us the reason on why this is happening. The player spawns in Stump and nothing has seemed to be changed. He types in the same code that he typed in earlier and walks out of Stump. That's when he realized that the siren was gone, which made him really confused. He then decides to go ahead and do a route that he did earlier, but the tree is gone. He jumps down to investigate and finds a black hole in the ground, which is super odd. Then suddenly the video cuts, leaving us with no further information about the strange glitch occurrences that we have been seeing throughout the video. But if we go back to the first video and go to the description of it, you can see that Chimp just wanted to play with his friends, but all these strange glitches started happening. We also know that this takes place in March of 2022, meaning this happened around the first house update in the gorilla tag. But this next episode might give us more hints on why this is happening. Player starts in Stump and types in the code as usual. But when he walks out of Stump, we can see that the siren is back, and a bunch of other textures are starting to glitch out, leaving the player super confused. And as curious as he is, he goes to check it out. But when walking over to the tree, this happens. His game crashed, but we don't know exactly why. Maybe it was the corrupted texture, or maybe even the green figure that we saw earlier. But if we go down to the description, we can see that this video is recorded 2 days after the first one, which means that the second video is recorded March 19th, 2022. Meaning that he's been playing every single day, with each day getting worse and worse. But this next episode is definitely the craziest one yet, so trust me, you are not prepared. Every single texture is corrupted now, but the player still decides to head over to the computer and type in the code. And once he goes out into forest, this happens. Now, if you didn't already see it, if I turn the brightness up on this clip, you'll get this, which looks like the green figure that we saw earlier. You can also see that it has long arms and looks super scary, which is probably the reason the player ran away. And if you go to the video's description, you can see that Chimp said, "I think I know what is causing this, but I am not sure." And this was recorded 3 days later from the previous video. The 5th episode might just reveal the truth on why this is happening. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out. Everything seems to be the same as the last episode, types in the code and goes out of Stump. But that's when you can see every single object floating around, which is odd, because we've only seen missing textures and disappearing objects. But it's only gonna get weirder from now. The player walks up to this tree and tries to get over to a platform, and once he finally makes it, this happens. But then the video ends. But this still doesn't give us the reason on why everything has been happening. And there isn't any more videos on this channel. So how could we figure out the truth on this corrupted version? And if we tie the story together, you could see that the player puts in the same code every single time that he joins the game. Each time he puts this code in, the game starts to corrupt even more. But if we go to the last video and turn on subtitles, you could see that somewhere around this video is a line of random letters. And if I take these letters and put them in a YouTube link, it brings us to the last actual video, which is going to explain everything and why it's been happening. He spawns in Stump, and you can see that some textures are more vibrant and more greener than they were before. He joins the code and looks at a Stump, but then this happens. The whole forest is gone and there's an eye instead. So the player goes over to City only to find out that it's a black void, which is similar to what we saw in Forest. And the same things happen with Canyon, but when he goes down to Caves, the map is there. As any other gorilla tag player would do, he heads down to Mine. That's when this happens. He tries to run out of caves as fast as he can, but he starts glitching out along the way. And eventually, he finally made it up to Stump and types in the code Joy89. He then presses enter and his game starts glitching out. It slowly fades back in and then says this. Wait, this is going a bit too fast. How did this even happen in the first place? What could have caused his game to go back to normal? But if you look back in the video, you could see that he's been putting in the code Joy89 but with a 0. He's been doing throughout this whole entire series. But at the end, he put the code in with an O instead of a 0. So is the code the entire reason why all of this has been happening? Well, we don't really have an answer for that, but we do have an answer for one thing. If you ever join a code, make sure to not misspell it.